they come out clean.
This video is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the simplest fantasy sports game on the market. It's simple and easy to play. You can pick between 2 to 5 players, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry. PrizePicks is slick and easy to use. It can be found on the App Store if you have an iPhone, and it can be found on Google Play if you don't have an iPhone. Now, you can sign up using the code ASU. What does ASU stand for? It doesn't stand for an Albany State. It doesn't stand for Arizona State. It stands for Atlanta Sports Unlimited.
Yes, sir.
ASU, use that code when you sign up. PrizePicks will 100% match your initial deposit up to $100. Malik, you got PrizePicks. You were scrolling up through it. What do you want to say about PrizePicks this week?
Yes, sir. Hey, man, PrizePicks. I went in and I did some things. I did some things last week, man. So this let me show y'all my past entry from this week. If I can pull it up, here we go, right here. So past entries right here. I did a 4-pick flex play. So basically, you can pick 4 players or you can pick 5 players. If you get and you got to put a certain amount of money in. So if you get all the players things right, so if you pick Steph and Fred and I don't know, Draymond, and you go over and under and everything's right, you get times 5 the amount of money. But if you only do a flex play is you get 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 4 right, you get times, I think, 2 or 3. So I'm only doing flex because I'm not really a lucky guy. And, I'm also a Falcons fan, so that makes it worse. But
he ain't doing that 5 for 5.
I ain't doing no 5 for 5. I'm not doing no 4 for 4. I'm keeping it flex play only. But look, guys, it's fun. I have fun playing it. You can do NBA, NFL, boxing, MMA. They got literally every sport that you can think of. So just sign up, man. ASU.
Hey, you heard it here first. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. And
Yes,
now, to get into it, man, welcome back to another edition of Birds in the Buckets. I'm your co-host, Rashad Milligan, here with my co-host, Malik Brown. Malik, how are you doing?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. It feels good to be back, bro. Feels good to be back.
Oh, yeah. We haven't been on. I forgot we haven't been on in a couple weeks because we were supposed to come on last week, and then we didn't. So we were supposed to come on this week, and we didn't. But we are back today. No guests this week because the guest we had previously scheduled had a family emergency. We could talk about it after we record, but I will get to tonight. We're recording the first half of a back-to-back. The Hawks lost at home 130 to 127 to the Charlotte Hornets, and the Charlotte Hornets did not have LaMelo Ball and 2 other good players, at least. Who were the other players they had? No Terry Rozier.
Plumlee.
No Miles Plumlee.
And I think the dude was Jaden McDaniels or something like that.
Jalen McDaniels.
Yeah.
Jaden McDaniels' brother. Over there in Charlotte. So, yeah, man, they were missing 4 rotational players and 3 very primary players, including their best player, and they still came into Atlanta and won. Not the best night for the Hawks. If you're looking, Miles Bridges had 32. At the beginning of the game, I thought he was going to get 40. Kelly Oubre started off hot as well. He ended up with 28. Hayward, where was he on January 6th? He was in Atlanta, Georgia, giving the Hawks about 43, 42. He had 18 tonight. P.J. Washington had 13 and 11, double-double for him. Ish Smith, a couple of easy buckets going to the lane, 18 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. He's been a pretty good NBA veteran. He's kind of like a Steve Blake, just a backup point guard who's been in the league for a long time and has always done solid work in the league. Now on the Hawks side of things, TLC, I see a lot of TLC slander, but he had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He is better than some of other players that Hawks fans love to slander as well. John Collins led the way with 31 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. Clint Capella, 14 rebounds, 8 points. He's missed a couple layups again. He's back to missing layups. I don't know if it's health or whatever. Trae Young, 25, 15, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, Kevin Huerter, 28 points, 3 rebounds, 2 rebounds, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. And Danilo Gallinari, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Malik, just initial thoughts on this game.
No defense. Completely no defense from beginning to end. Like, it was crazy. And I mean, I know they were missing LaMelo and Terry. Like, those are, of course, LaMelo's like your ball handler. Like, he's your initiator. But it's funny. I was talking to shout out to Tanitra from 92.9. I was talking to her, and we were talking after the game, and she was like, last time they played the Hornets, LaMelo didn't even have as good of a game, man. I mean, it was still almost pretty close. So it's kind of like, but who went off that game last time? Miles Bridges. So apparently the Hawks don't have anybody for Miles Bridges. You put him on John Collins. I mean, you put John Collins up against him, and I mean, at some point, like, Miles was just hitting everything, bro. Like, he was literally just isoing, just getting to the cup, doing whatever he does. Oubre is known for he's a streaky player. So I mean, he came in the starting lineup and did his thing. Then you got Gordon still. So it's like, okay, you're missing LaMelo and Terry, but I think they still have three scorers that can put the ball in the hole. So, but at the same time, it's like the way they were getting their shots was just so simple. So that's why I said no defense, man. And it's like they've been had this is like the second game in a row where it's like, okay, you gotta do something. I felt like against the Sixers it was, okay, we can't score. Now this time it's no defense, so it's kind of like we need to get like a balance. So that's really what it came down to for me. It's just the defense was non-existent tonight.
Right, for sure. And you're talking about defense, like that's always been a problem with this kind of Hawks group on and off. Like last year, stepped up a little bit and stuff like that, and you see an improved effort. I remember Trae at the beginning of the game, he had a mismatch with Bridges down low, and Bridges put up at the rim and missed it, and the Hawks ran down and did what they did on the other end. But later in the game, I think it was Hayward who had the mismatch on Trae, and he boom, bullied him, did what he had to do, put it in, and the whole bench did the whole he's too small. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It's crazy, man. Like, Bridges is an all-star this year. Bridges is definitely an all-star. He's playing all-star basketball. But still, at the end of the day, when you don't have LaMelo Ball, that's the game you got to win at home if you're the Hawks. The game that they had against Philadelphia when, they were winning for most of the game and only scored, 2 points in the final 7 minutes. That's the game you have to win at home on national television. If you want that respect, there's so many times where these guys talk about we don't get the respect, we don't get the attention, we do this, we do. If you want to get that, you got to win these games and you got to show up. Now you dug yourself a hole. It's still early. You're 12-12. But however, when you're looking at the end, like we talked about this before the season started, there's 8 to 10 teams, not even 8 to 10 teams, like probably 11, 12 that can contend for those last two playing spots, to make up the top 10 in the Eastern Conference, including Cleveland. You see Darius Garland is getting it going in the absence of Colin Sexton. He had 32 the other night. Evan Mobley's probably the front runner for Rookie of the Year as well as Scotty Barnes over there in Toronto. So it's just like the teams at the bottom aren't going to be at the bottom for long. Chicago, a team that wasn't even in the top 10, is one of the best teams in the league, much less the Eastern Conference right now. So it's just it's too competitive. At the point you're going to find yourself scrambling around to get into a playing game. If you scramble around to get into a playing game at the end of the season, you're not going to have any type of gas or juice for the playoffs. You definitely don't think you're just going to flick the switch on just because you made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Last year was last year. I feel like we've said that probably once every podcast this season. So it's just like, the Hawks have definitely let a couple games slip away from them this year. And now, another thing I saw, I wanted to point out a couple things specific to this game. I was talking to the group chat earlier, and I was like, TLC, I said he was better than a couple of the other players that always get criticized by Hawks fans. But TLC in this one, he had a decent game. At the end of the game, he had that costly 3-point foul. I believe it was like the last 2 minutes of the game, and it was a 3-point game, and he fouled a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Terrible foul, everything like that. There's another thing I want to ask you about. I want to get to stay on this game first, get all the game thoughts out the way. And then Kevin Huerter had it going. He got up to 25 in the fourth quarter, had that 4-point play. and it was just like Kev was the only one that really had it going consistently in the fourth quarter. Trae took a couple of long, deep threes, like back-to-back, and they weren't going in. And then, he did the foul baiting thing once again, and that's how he got back to the line. But throughout, Trae trying to get it going some way, somehow, figuring out a way to score again, Kev was making everything. So Kev got the ball. I'm looking at it, and he's got it going. I believe Trae, he drove. He kicked it out to John. John got it to Kev. I'm like, this is who you want with the ball. No, right. Trae don't shoot. Trae didn't shoot. He passed it to John. John got it to Kev. Great. The guy who's hot. Kev's looking. He's got someone guarding him, so he doesn't have an immediate open shot. And he passes the ball.
Yeah.
And the Hawks end up missing. I didn't understand that at all. I'd rather Kev, if Kev has it going, one of the things that people have always talked about with Kev and Cam Reddish, aggressiveness. Cam has become aggressive because he wants some money. And Kev is like, it's like some days he is aggressive, some days he's not. And I felt like that was one of those like pivotal moments. I'm looking at two plays, TLC with that foul, and then Kev passing up that kind of opportunity to at least try to make something happen as the shot clock's running down. So I just wanted to, just know your thoughts on kind of like the game as far as specific plays or players before I head into more big picture questions.
Yeah, I don't think with TLC, I don't really understand the slander either, because it's kind of like the dude was literally riding the bench like 2 weeks ago, like was not seeing any playing time at all. And I mean, he has to step into this role. And I felt like so far, he's been doing good. I mean, besides the foul late in the fourth, like, I mean, he shot 5 for 10, 12 points, like 2 blocks. What else do you want from him? He was a +3. So I mean, if you're a plus on the court, then you gotta be doing something right. So I mean, and then I like while watching the game, I was waiting to say something about Solo, but he got hurt, and I was like, dang, I can't say nothing. But he's literally a better option than Solo. Like when Solo's on the court, I don't really like. He's just out there, honestly. And I mean, and I'm being honest, like, I don't remember the last time I saw Bray hit a shot. I honestly have not. I don't remember the last time I seen him hit a shot. So I just feel like TLC at this point is more valuable right now with all the injuries on the court. So shoot, keep him in. And then it's like with Kevin, of course, we expect him to be more aggressive, like for sure. I expect him to take that shot as well, or be aggressive and get his own shot off. But I mean, nowadays it's either he's getting set up for a shot, or sometimes he's getting aggressive and getting to the lane. Like it has to be like consistent for him. And who else?
Because Kev, before you get to John, Kev is playing Bogey's role right now. With Bogey out, he's playing Bogey. Mm-hmm. What will Bogey do in that situation?
Shoot it.
He's gonna find a way.
He gonna shoot it.
I remember Bogey had it finally going one game, and Ray, shout out to Trae Young, he retweeted and he was like, Bogey, you my mans, but that's why you got. I'm like, bro, like we must be watching 2 games because Bogey I ain't never seen a shot Bogey ain't like. I don't know. I've seen some other players that need to shoot during that Bogey, but go ahead, you talking about John.
But yeah, John, I mean, I can't really say much about John either. John did his thing with 31 points. I don't know if did you see that article last week about him? Athletic about? I think that somebody asked him about him being like getting his own plays on offense, and he was like, he kind of felt. I guess he felt. I think he still feels some type of way of not getting no plays on offense. But
oh wow, like, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was talking. I think of course it was Chris, but I know they were talking about how LP used to say the same thing, and now Nate is saying the same thing. Like, we don't really need to run any plays for him or whatnot. Like, it kind of just comes naturally. And John was like, shoot, like, it was kind of like I got to deal with it, but it's like I still feel some type of way about that. Like, it's kind of weird. But shoot, I felt like he really didn't get any plays run from him. Like, honestly, they find a mismatch in the post, they give him the ball, and after that, like, he just goes to work. So I feel like that's pretty solid enough. I mean, you got 31 points off of it. But I can't really say anything offensively. Like, you got everything offensively from what you needed. It was just, like I said, defense at the end of the day. Gallinari
And
came off
even
the bench
I
and
was, I
scored
was about to say,
17.
even Gallo,
Yeah,
even
he
Gallo's
gave you
getting it going
17.
lately. That's what you needed from Gallo all season. And he's finally giving it to you these past week.
That's one thing. One thing I didn't understand. After Solo went down, like, okay, so you went 8 deep this game. You got a game tomorrow. Like, I mean, you brought up Skylar and Sharif and Jalen. Like, are you? I mean, unless they get playing time tomorrow.
It was my question. It was my question. That was my first big picture question. Like you said, because I thought about your tweet right when Solo went down. So many wings are going out, and I was like why, why don't you even try it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you allow them to fail? Like you saw Book Knight came in tonight for Charlotte. He played. Let me see how many minutes he played. But that was the first time he got any type of first half action this season. You know what I'm saying? So he had JT Dore even had 12 minutes. But Book Knight had 6 minutes. I just feel like, why don't you even give these kids a chance to fail? You know what I'm saying? Even if they're not ready. You've seen what Sharif has done in down low and in College Park, as well as what he did in the preseason and what he did in the summer league. Like, everything you've seen from him has been positive. You know, the couple games that he has come in garbage time with the Hawks is, it hasn't been like, he's just been balling or anything like that, like he did in the summer league. But I mean, what do you expect when you give a kid 2 minutes and he's been sitting down for 46 minutes? Like what do you expect from a kid like that? What do you want him to do? Exactly. Like, what do you expect? So, I mean, his legs are cold. Like, that's a basic basketball principle. That's why you warm up before the games, and that's why you warm up at halftime. But, like, with him and Jalen, I kind of don't get it. Even Skylar, like, if you wanted to go with Scott, like, Skylar's someone who's proven himself to be a viable option. But one thing I did think, I don't know if Skylar's, like, necessarily as bad as a Jalen type of deal of, like, Jalen needs to play. But, yeah, I mean, DeLon Wright, shout out to DeLon Wright. You were talking about defense earlier with TLC. And DeLon Wright had, once again, like a pretty good block tonight against Charlotte. So, I'm kind of looking at that of, like, those are the underrated things that fans might not see with DeLon Wright's game. I don't think backup point is as bad of a problem as it was, but the way that Cooper's been playing down at the G League, outplaying our former guy, Brandon Goodwin, over there with the Westchester Knicks. He gave him what 19, 26, you know what I'm saying? And the type of shots he was making was like, acrobatic layups under the basket, reverses. So, I mean, he's making some tough shots, and Jalen Johnson put up 20 and 20 the other night. So, I don't know, man. I feel like you at least throw him in a fire, but Malik, as I've asked you before, as someone who's seen the team up close and personal multiple times, just what do you think it is with why they aren't playing?
Well, the narrative on Twitter is Nate hates rookies. So, and I mean, at this point, it's like, does he hate them? Like, does he not? I mean, if I can't even recall who was the rookie. Who were the rookies last year? Skylar was a rookie last year, right?
Skylar,
but LP was playing Skylar, right?
Yeah, he's playing Skylar.
I don't remember. Did Nate play Skylar at all?
I mean, he wasn't in the rotation. No. It was like Skylar was playing like LP. He gave people chances like a little bit more. Like it was still kind of the same thing, but like Skylar got in when they were losing by 50 to San Antonio, and they only lost by 20 because Skylar had 20 in the fourth quarter. And so like after that, LP moved him up to like he was like the second one off the bench. And then like Skylar even got in the rotation after that.
Yeah.
And then LP had a kid, and Nate took over for a couple games.
I remember February. It was the Celtics game. Yeah. The Celtics and the Nuggets. I remember and that. Yeah.
Skylar right back out the rotation. I'm like, dang, why you take Skylar out of the rotation? But who was the rookie? Onyeka.
Oh yeah, Onyeka. Yeah, right.
So I was like, dang.
And I mean, Onyeka proved himself late in the season that he was valuable.
Player, He still didn't play that much.
He still didn't.
He still didn't play that much. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like like obviously the thing was in the offseason was like, oh, at this point, we're not really looking to develop the young guys as much as we were in the past because we're looking to win now. And I understand that, but when you have a talent like Cooper and Johnson, like those are two pretty good players.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and Sky
And
is
you're
tough
down
too.
like 4 or 5 men.
Right. Exactly. At this point. And it was like, for Chris to ask him the other day, is Jalen coming up to get more minutes? And he's like, oh, we'll do it if we don't have enough injuries. And I'm like, what is enough injuries? Like,
You got
I
one
don't really get
today.
it. But yeah, exactly. And they're losing. Like they're losing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You look at kind of the Georgia football thing of, Stetson Bennett, and people bring up the passings of him starting farm over Eason and Justin Fields. And like some of the other like mistakes or decisions that Smart has made at the quarterback position and just stuck with it. And it was like the most obvious thing, and everybody on the outside yelling, "Put Justin Fields," or put so and so in, put JT Daniels in, and like coach is just like, I'm the coach. And I feel like there's something that Nate could really hurt himself doing with this thing. Like this is a game where Trae was like questionable on a game time decision headed up to it. Have we ever thought of that where Trae's pulling up with these late game shots? Me personally, I didn't have any. Oh, so that's my next question. We'll just transfer to that.
Cool.
Do you have any problem with Chris? He asked Trae about the shots, and someone else tweeted it. I can't remember. I think it was Caleb. Shout out to Caleb Johnson. Boy, it sure is tough when Trae misses those 40-footers, 30-footers. And me, I don't have any problem with it when he misses because it's been so many times where he done made them things in the game.
Yeah.
And he takes them because it's like, the players kind of catch him off guard when he just does a quick, crossover into the shot. And, late in the game, late in the shot clock, the distance, it breaks, it's like a backbreaker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
so
for
they're
sure.
Like, it kind of breaks the morale. It's kind of like when people say not all 2 points are the same, I think LeBron said that, not all 2 points are equal or something like that, because if you do like a crazy dunk, like that momentum and the way that it depletes the other team is much different than just getting a layup or getting a mid-range shot. So it's like not all 2 points are equal and stuff because of momentum purposes. So when Trae does that deep 30-plus foot, 40, whatever foot shot on 3-pointers, I don't think it's a bad shot. I don't have problems with, especially when he has it going. Like he had it going tonight. He had 20, 28, 25. He had 25. So I mean, before he missed those back-to-back deep threes in the fourth quarter, he had it going. And then, he missed those back-to-back threes, and it seemed like he struggled for the rest of the night. But I don't have a problem with it. Do you have an issue with it? First things first, and then we'll get into Chris's question.
I think it's a love-hate kind of thing. Because I feel like during when he first got drafted, like the first 2 years, he was doing that all the time, like just deep bombs, and it was kind of like, okay, it's fun because we know they're not that good. So I mean, you can do that, but it's kind of like now you're in a different mind. You're in a different mindset now, where it's like, okay, we're trying to win games, like we're like a legit team now. So I mean, I get it in certain situations, but it's like, okay, let's just think about what game was that? The Pacers game, I think. He was hot for like the first 3 quarters. And then fourth quarter, it gets down and he's chucking the shots. And he keeps chucking them and he keeps shooting. And it's like, bro, you're cold. Like, give it to somebody else. And I mean, they almost lost that game. And I think he did it against the Sixers too. Like late in the fourth, like he had got cold for a minute.
I don't know about the Sixers game. Just giving everybody a heads up. I didn't get to watch the full Sixers game yet, but continue, Malik.
Yeah, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he did it against the Sixers too, where he just throws the deep bomb or whatever. I mean, and usually when he has a mismatch, like usually like he has a center or something on him, which is understandable. Like usually he's gonna take that. So but at the same time, it's like, okay, like what happened to in tonight's game. He throws up the deep bomb, and then the Hornets get a 3 from Kelly Oubre, and then it's tied, like what I think it was like 112 to 112 like after that. So it's like it kind of hurts you, but at the same time, it's like if it goes in, hey, I mean, you took advantage of your mismatch. So, like I said, it's love hate. It's really love and hate.
For sure, for sure. I agree with you on that. It's like, and it's like he's not the only player in the league who's like that. You know, you think of
Yeah,
a J.R. Smith. You know, you think of even a Melo or a Dame. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Or a
yeah.
Steph. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Steph. Like I've seen. You know, we've seen how many times we've seen Steph come down and pull up from the not the logo, but the little arena logo, the little
Yeah,
arena
right.
emblem over there on the side of the logo. And
Yeah,
you know he airballs, and you know he just kind of plays with this mouthpiece, and you know just goes back on defense
right.
like
Yeah,
this or whatever. Like it's been so many times where we saw that, but it's like you have to kind of live with that. You know, if he's gonna
yeah,
make the
yeah.
crazy shots, you got to live with when he misses. You know, when he was talking to LeVar or whatever, it's like he was talking about LaMelo. He's like LaMelo gonna drive you crazy with some of the stuff he tries. Like he did the self bounce pass alley hoop
He missed it.
in Orlando. Like you know, but you know you live with him. You know, creating those crazy no look and
Yeah,
whatever he does and everything like that. So it's just a part of what being a flashy player and an exciting player and stuff like that. Because once you complete those plays, if you do complete those plays, the type of momentum that it gives the home crowd, that it gives your
yeah.
team, and deflates the other team is kind of priceless. So it just is what it is. But um,
But
this is the
also,
reason.
Trae
Oh,
has
go
to
ahead.
realize if he takes that type of shot, he has to get back in transition. Because I think, do you remember the Suns game? Something, I don't know if he took the shot or somebody else took the shot, but I think he like ended up getting out of the play, and then the Suns got on the fast break. I
Oh,
really can't
like
remember.
he gave up on the play or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't remember if he took a shot or somebody else took a shot or
yeah.
something. But I mean, it's kind of like that. Like if you're gonna take that shot, you need to make sure that you going back in transition. So, like I said,
But this is what LP said. LP literally called him out on this. LP Lloyd Pierce, former Atlanta Hawks head coach.
we
But
say LP. They only probably
yeah,
don't.
yeah, right. So Lloyd Pierce, he called him out about this in the press conferences where he says, "Yeah, it's nice," and then like, you know, how do you even say this? The people who rooted for Trae were like mad that the coach was calling him out publicly, and I'm
Yeah,
like, dude, like if he was wrong, but
he was wrong, right?
but
Yeah,
but he was like, he said, yeah, sometimes you love it, sometimes they make you cringe because if he misses it, then the other team you don't get a chance to set your defense, and the other team is on an automatic fast break, and they said that, and like then you hear it's like my, I don't even know how to say this. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just say it. All right, all due respect. I'm gonna go back to Ray. I'm gonna go back to Rayford. Rayford would be like, my son has always played like this from his whole life. If you have a problem with it, don't draft him. You know what I'm saying? Like, just say things like that, and I'll just be like, man, like, it's like it isn't like immune to like what I'm saying, criticism, like
yeah.
or
They
like
don't
a
like that.
criticism that at least makes sense. Like it makes sense that people are saying that. It's like what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
they
I'm
don't like
just
that.
like what I'm saying, but yeah. So that's the thing. Anyways, if you're wondering why we're talking about this, the thing that's buzzing right now, Hawks Twitter. I'm glad that Chris posted it himself and said I asked instead of somebody else posting it and being like,
Right,
"Which
right.
reporter was it?" And then they're
Yeah,
like, "Chris,"
yeah.
and then everybody's spamming Chris. Oh, you coward! Oh, I hate you. But yeah, so Chris he posted the little back and forth himself. As of the time right now, it's got 9 retweets and 21 quote tweets. So you know what it
Oh,
is
he's
when you
getting
see a
ratio.
ratio like that. He got ratio. So he said, I asked Trae Young about his early shot clock threes late in the fourth quarter when games are close. Here's what he had to say. When you guys have those when you take those early shot clock threes, what do you exactly see? And do you feel like at the time that's the best decision for you guys? He said, which one? There was one at the 5-minute mark. It led to a fast break. They came down and made a three. How much time was on the shot clock? I don't have it in front of me. He said, I wish you had more stats to it and knew what the shot clock was. And then Chris said in parentheses, there were 16 seconds left. As a basketball player, when there's 10 or 9 seconds left, 9 or 10 seconds left, you have to make a play. 16 seconds is not 110 seconds. If you guys are standing there, if you want to make a play, you have to do something. Sometimes when you go to the basket and you're continuing, sometimes you have to believe in what you worked on. That's just how I play. So when it comes to taking those shots, you feel like that's the best outcome for you guys as a team. I wouldn't take them if I didn't think that. the last answer was like,
Bruh.
duh. Like,
And
yeah.
it's crazy because after that, I think that was the last question. He just walked out.
Oh, that was it?
That was it.
They said the Philly game. Were you? Oh, yeah, you were at the Philly game. They said he
Philly
only got
game,
one
too.
question?
He got one question, yeah. He got one question.
What was the one question?
Who else? Something about – hey, I forgot. It was Chris, though. I forgot what he asked. Maybe it was something about, like, rotations or like, shots or something. I forgot what it was. But it was one question. He was out.
That's crazy. So I guess it hasn't been the best weekend for Trae talking to Atlanta press. But excuse me. But yeah, man, I mean, it's like the people in here going hard, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, you gotta, like, I don't know, everybody's got to be held accountable. Like we talked about holding Trae accountable on this pod like multiple times earlier this season, especially when they were going through the losing streak. If you take all the good that comes from Trae Young, top 10 player in the league, top 15, hands down, it's not a debate whether he's top 15. It is a debate whether he is top 10 or not. But in our opinion, or in my opinion, he's top 10. The thing is, it's just like, you got to hold him accountable. If you want to be a top 10 player, you got to be critiqued like a top 10 player. We critique LeBron on every little thing, and that's because LeBron wants to be compared to the greatest player of all time. So it just comes with being great. You know what I'm saying? It's not no hating thing. It's some people that will be like, some people in these comments that are like, oh, you can't do the same thing. Why don't you do it? Why don't you cover some other team? And it's like, bro, like, that's not life. I feel like a problem with generally in society is that you can't critique anymore. Like, you can't give constructive criticism. Anything that's negatively not what you want is like negative energy, and you don't need to be near negative energy. And I don't concern myself. And they got to make you feel bad about it. Like, it's just whack to me because it's not reality. Reality is like life is very kind of a dark kind of reality. And people always try to run away from it and try to not accept the fact that it is dark. And I just never really understood that. I don't think you doing that and talking down on somebody else, trying to bring up something that's reality. Yeah, I don't get that at all. But anyways, you go ahead, Malik.
Yeah, it's two things with that. I think, first of all, like, as far as nobody, like, as far as the people in Chris's comments, like, they're all fanboys, bro. Like, at the end of the day, they're fanboys. And I think it's one thing to think it's like, okay, and I kind of get it. Like, when the last time the Hawks had a player like this? You feel me? Like, so, I mean, they see all these good performances. Oh, yeah, like 30 and 10 every night. He can do no wrong. Like, he's the only reason we're winning, all this other stuff. So it's like, they're not going to see the bad. Like, they only going to see the good. They only going to see the good. So, at that point, it's the fanboys. Second thing, I don't understand why people be getting on Chris so much. Like, I guess people don't understand what a journalist is, bro. Like, everybody expects the Hawks person to be a Hawks fan or
every
like
sport is not just a Hawks. Like, exactly. It's like D-Led. They be getting on D-Led. They like, because D-Led don't tweet, let's go Falcons. I'm like, bro, do you understand what, like, journalism is? Like, D-Led is. But go ahead.
They get mad at Chris because Chris is a New York fan. So when he says something, like, if he criticizes, like, the Hawks or something, they're like, bro, aren't you a New York fan? Like, why are you covering the Hawks? Bro, he didn't get into journalism to do, like.
He needed a job. He needed to pay bills, man. That's why he covering the Hawks, man. But look, Malik, but before you continue, I wanted to touch on one thing you did before I forgot. The first point you made, it's kind of like in dating, right? If you always had, like, maybe a nice girl here, a church girl here, and then you get, like, the amazing one, like, you got one of the baddies. You got one of them ones. And you ain't never had a baddie before. So you like anything she says goes. Like she can do no
Perfect.
wrong because she's the best looking woman you've ever had. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So you're like anything she said, like and you bring her around your friends, right? You bring her around your friends one time, and then you guys leave, and then you're talking to your friends later. Come back over, play some video games, or watch a game. They're like, yo, no offense, like your girl cool and all, but she's kind of rude. Like she don't say like thank you, excuse me. Like she kind
Yeah.
of just walked into my fridge when she got in the house. Like, I think you should kind of look out for that. Bro, you don't know what you're talking about,
You don't
man.
know what you're talking.
She's the most polite person I know. You know what I'm saying? Like this
At
because
that
she's
point, you whip,
beautiful.
bro. You whip.
Exactly. You said it better than I ever could. So continue with your point after you talking about Chris and being fanboys and journalism.
Yeah. So Chris, I feel like ever since the John and ever since he put that article out about John and Trae last year, like everybody's been getting on him, and I feel it's true. Like I feel like anytime before that, like people have been pretty cool with Chris, but it's been like a couple articles after that one too, where people are like, "Bro, you don't know if you want to be a fan or you want to do this. Like one day you're doing this, and like one day, like he's literally giving like a real representation of how the team is doing. Like the team is not good all the time. The team is gonna suck one day, and they're gonna be good one day. Trae's not gonna always get 30 and 10. He's gonna go 9 for 30 sometimes, and you're gonna have to call him out on something like. And I would just love to see some of these fans be like a journalist, and because I'm pretty sure if we saw, we wouldn't get half the stuff that we get from like Chris or maybe like a Sarah or like the real legit journalists. Because it's like you gonna play the good side, so you gonna try to hide that he had this turnover late in the game or he took this bad shot. Like you gonna only look at the good. So man, y'all look, man, journalism is deeper than what y'all think, man. It's just everybody's not a fan of the team that they cover. Like that's not a thing.
And I grew like the thing is, it's like people will even get on like us. And it's
Yeah,
like
right.
we both grew up Hawks fans before we were journalists. Like now, of course, we had to pull away the fan card and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. And this is something we talked about. We talked about it on the Brennan Goodwin episode. We talked about it, I believe, another episode. But it's like I even had I think it was Grant. Grant called me a Hawks hater.
Yeah,
like, bro, what? Like just because I'm pointing out all the bad things that the Hawks started winning. And like I was still kind of cautious because I'm like, okay, these are games they're supposed to win. I don't know if we can take too much stock into it coming off the losing streak. And then, they beat, I believe it was Charlotte. Charlotte was like the game I was like, okay, this is legitimate because Charlotte's a good team and Charlotte had it rolling at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, Clint in particular was playing better than he was at the beginning of the season. It looked like kind of the Clint of old. And while Clint is rebounding, we're looking at the exact same issues that we saw in at the losing streak at the beginning of the season, where Clint is missing layups, no defense. There's just a lot of issues. It's like, kind of people just kind of get the ball one-on-one. I mean, but the offense, I don't know, like the offense as discombobulated as it might look at times is not an issue at all.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not. I mean, they put up 130. I mean, they put up 96 or something on Friday, which was crazy. But I mean, you put up 130 tonight, bro. Like all you had to do was get 2 stops, and you probably win the game.
I think Gallo definitely been listening to people and watching, looking at Twitter and stuff. Because ever since that, they said that joker getting traded first. He like, oh no. he said I done played on 20 teams in my career. I'm not getting traded again. That man started.
That's the closest I've been to a tip.
He did the wraparound against Philly. I said, oh, I didn't even know you could jog up the floor. That man Gallo hooping. He had 17, 18, 19. I'm like, oh, Gallo back, ain't it? He's not trying to get. He said, oh, I'm not moving again. I'm in year 13. I'm in year 13, bro. I cannot move again. Gallo started hooping, but I mean, but that was one of the things in that beginning of the season losing streak. Gallo had nothing going, and it just seemed like none of the guys really meshed together. But now you have more room to operate. Gallo's getting it going. This is what you're asking for, and it's just like the results are empty. Late game execution. That's one thing. There's
That's what
been
it
a
is.
huge issue
Problem.
with these Hawks. So what do you think it is with late game execution? Do you think it falls on Nate's shoulders? And I guess what can the Hawks, do to improve it?
Man, I don't know because I feel like it's been a couple possessions. I mean, I think it was one in this game and the last game where like they didn't even get a shot off it within the shot clock. So it's like it's just a whole bunch. At this point, it just looks like it's a whole bunch of dribbling, or you really don't know like what you're doing. I know you didn't. I know you said you didn't watch the Sixers game, but I know like it was one like pivotal play where Trae was driving and he did like a little behind the back to John, and it was like kind of messy. So John kind of fumbled the ball. Then John, he drives to the lane and he kind of tries to do like a wraparound pass on the baseline to Trae, and Steph just comes in front and grabs him, and it's a turnover. And that was like with a minute left. So it's like, what was that plan? Like, what was your plan at that point? And I think they did something like that. In this game, I don't think it was a turnover, but it was like the shot clock went out. So I don't really know if it's to blame it on Nate or if it's just too much dribbling. Like if you can't get into your first, like I know Nate always talks about, okay, we got to start getting into like our second, third options, fourth options. Like it seems like now it's kind of like if the first option's not there, then they just fold it. So I don't know what it is.
I know, Trey's definitely talked about, with Lloyd Pierce in the past, he's kind of voiced, sent little kind of subtle shots of how he wanted the ball in his hands more late in the games. He wanted to be that type of player. He voiced it once he started hitting those shots, especially in the playoffs. He's like, I always wanted to be that player. I always wanted to be that guy to get the ball. He never held back on it. So I felt like, that's kind of the thing. It's like they throw the playbook out the window for the last 5 minutes. Just give it to Trae and let Trae do it.
Free flow. Free flowing offense.
But it's like, but that's an issue when, like you said, when you don't have anything going and you're scrambling around and then you make a poor pass or you force pass and stuff like that. And, you end up with what you've been seeing. The Indiana game should have been a loss.
For sure. Yeah.
If you're the Hawks, you should look at that as a loss, because Kev held onto the jersey. I mean, it was a foul, and it was just so much going on right there. But I don't know.
But it's crazy because I mean, like these past 3 games, it's been the fourth quarter. Like you said, they luckily slipped out with a win against the Pacers. But if we really think of that could have been 3 straight losses, and it's all because of what happened in crunch time. So that's really what it's coming down to is how, like you said, execution, like late game execution. What are you doing? Are you just free flowing, or are you trying to get a play out? Like what's going on? So
I think you should still run the same offense that you ran the entire game, unless you have someone that's hot. If you have someone that's hot, if Trae has it going, Trae gets the ball. Kobe little triangle, right. You know what I'm saying? Get out the way.
Get out the way.
Yeah, get out the way. You're either doing that with Trae, or you're doing it with Herter, or you're doing it with John, whoever has it going at that time. But other than that, I think you still run what was working for you, because especially if you had the lead all game, like I just think you continue doing what you do. Like, if the other team tries to shut it down, let them shut it down first before you just to Trae gets the ball, dribbles it until 10 seconds left, goes and, they trap Trae, and then he forces a bad pass and it's a turnover. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how I feel about late game execution. They definitely have to work on it, figure out something. But, before the season, going back to it, just a big picture thing with the Hawks. It's like we were talking about the depth and how much depth and how it separates them from other teams in the East. This is the time to show off your depth now. This is time to go to the rookies and, give them a chance and do something, because now I think if this hole gets too big, you're talking about fighting for a play-in spot, and you don't want that. And that's what the Hawks look like, a play-in team right now. They look like a 7 through 10 team right now. So I don't know. It's just tough. Anything else from you, Malik?
Yeah, I know earlier you was talking about like how all these other teams like the Cavs and everybody, like they're starting to look good. It's like for last season is like this last season and this season, like it's totally different because it's like you kind of had like a legit 8 teams, but now it's kind of like it's like okay, everybody then came up except what the Magic,
Except for
like
Orlando, yeah.
yeah, like everybody is the Raptors are actually like they look good. The Cavs look good. Shoot, Wizards, like everybody is crazy. So and everybody's kind of in there like that same spot, like 12 and 11, 11 and 11, 13 and 10. Like
Brooklyn is even unbeatable.
yeah, like it's crazy. Brooklyn got what 6. No, I think they got 7 losses now. So it's like
They just lost to
all it takes is
Chicago.
one run. It takes one run for one, like a couple teams, and you got to solidify what top 5 or top 6. And I mean, the Hawks showed that they could go on the run last year. So I mean, it's I thought they were gonna. I mean, they kind of went on the run last week, 2 weeks ago, but I mean, I don't. With the injuries now, it's kind of hard to even see if they can do it again. Like right now,
It's just not even sustainable. I wanted to ask
yeah,
you about the wings, with the Cam and Dre. So Cam and Dre go down again. At this point, it's kind of like they are who they are. So I
yeah,
guess what do you do with them? Do you keep both of them long term? I think you keep both of them long term just because it is kind of guaranteed one of them, unfortunately, is always going to be out.
yeah.
Just like, how do you feel about it? Do you keep both of them? Because I asked the question because I feel like the Hawks play better without them, without both of them, which sounds crazy on the surface, but they do. Like, it just feels when everybody's healthy, the Hawks feel too crowded.
Yeah. I mean, like what we've seen so far this season is like we all knew that Dre has like this ceiling, right? That everybody has seen, but it's kind of like when he was on the floor, the Hawks were kind of struggling. So, but he gets hurt. You bring Kevin in the lineup, and the offense looks kind of better than it looks like the offense they had last year when Dre was hurt, which was not bad. So it's like okay, and then you got Cam. You had a healthy Cam that looked like he was fitting into his role finally, and he gets hurt. So it's kind of hard because I like Cam and I like Cam coming off the bench, but I don't know if I kind of like Dre starting. Like, what do you do when when he gets back? So when you think about re-signing them both, yeah, I think that you can re-sign them both, but at some point, bro, like one of them gonna get traded. I think like you're gonna package them with somebody. Like you gonna package them with Bogey or Gallo or something like, and try to get like a solidified player or something better. But right now it's kind of like you can't just keep doing this. Like you come in the season healthy and then boom, one player goes down, then the other player goes down. Like it at some point you just gotta like cut the ties, man.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, ironically, like Kev has probably been the best player out of all of them this year.
Yeah.
He's probably been, better than Bogey because Bogey's had some struggling
Mm-hmm.
streaks and stuff like that. So, I mean, the fact that Kevin, like, he was kind of like the afterthought and the odd man out and the one we thought was going to get traded if any
Yeah.
one of them got traded first. And he became the best player. So, I mean, I think, if anything, if you wanted to keep them just to see, this one's got it going now, this one doesn't. Like, I
Yeah.
think because I think, you're talking about Dre struggling at the beginning of the season, but I think he was only struggling because Cam, was playing.
True. Yeah. Probably.
'Cause,
Maybe so. Yeah.
you look at playoffs last year. Dre plays extremely well against New York. There's no Cam.
Yeah.
And then early in the season, before he was out that big chunk of time when he was playing at a borderline all-star level, Cam was out.
Yeah. True. Yeah. You're right. You ain't never gonna.
you
They
know,
never gonna have a good game together.
it's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it'll be difficult. I don't know. It's just interesting to see what will happen. But I don't know. Maybe if you're Travis Slank, you just wanted like an abundance of riches at your disposal, and you're like, okay, we can keep all 5 of them, and then 2 of them's got it going at one time, and 2 of them are always going to be hurt. I
Yeah.
don't know. But like you said, I think if you wanted something a little more solidified and kind of permanent, one of those guys is definitely going to go,
They
and
gotta
they're not
go.
going to be in the long-term plans.
I think it's fun. I remember screenshotting something earlier. It was, Bleacher Report does a little crazy like trade things, and it was a trade where it says the Hawks get Jeremy Grant from the Pistons, and the Pistons get Cam, Onyeka, and DeLon. And I was like, I ain't really like it because it's like DeLon going back to the Pistons, and it's like I like Onyeka. Like I feel like Onyeka is going to be like the guy that takes Capella's spot. So I don't know, but I mean, like somebody like I mean, I like Jeremy Grant, but I feel like you can probably get more than just Jeremy Grant out of that
Yeah,
package, boy.
I just don't know about that position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, right,
forward.
yeah,
Like I could see maybe, like we said, a wing.
yeah,
Even
right.
though the Hawks are deepest at wing, they don't have a wing that they thought was it. Like
Yeah,
you
right.
thought Dre would be it, you thought Cam would be it, and they haven't really been it. So
Been
it's
it,
like,
right.
I'd trade for a star wing.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any on the market right now.
Not a
Yeah,
soul.
yeah.
Hoping that
Literally don't.
Jalen gets mad or something. I don't know.
JB, yeah. Jalen Brown would be like the only. Well, I saw our guy. He posted on his YouTube Bi. He suggested Bi.
Oh, for real? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah,
yeah,
he did. I did see that. I did
yep.
see that.
So I don't know, man. Maybe Bi would be nice.
Bi would be
Somebody.
nice.
Yeah. Bi would be nice. Bi would be nice.
Cause I remember seeing that, and then somebody was like, "Are you crazy?" Like somebody
Yeah,
like shot it
nah.
down. Somebody shot it down. I was like, "Nah, bro, y'all tripping." I'll definitely take
On a
Brandon
wing,
Ingram.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because Ingram, he's better as a role player. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah,
second
right.
best option. Third, like, as the guy, I don't think that's winning basketball, as you guys can see. Excuse me. But yeah, as a second, third option, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, I do a BIs. Someone. It's kind of like when people were talking about trading for Bradley Beal, and it's like getting rid of a Kev Herter for him and stuff like that. It's like you're getting rid of guys with potential to be good for a guy who's proven he's going to be good, and he
and
is
he's
good.
gonna be good. Right,
So
exactly.
it's like, you look at that with Jaylen Brown and Brandon Ingram on the
Yeah,
wings. And then as far as point goes, I don't know, man. I don't think like at this point, because like point has become like the wings for the Hawks. It's like sometimes
true.
Lou is gonna play well, sometimes Lou is gonna be hurt. Sometimes
Yeah,
Alon's gonna play well, sometimes Alon's gonna be hurt. And then you also have Skylar as an option. You also have TLC as an option at the point. And then you have this kid Cooper, who you never even play. So it's
not even
like
playing.
it's just
There's no consistency.
yeah, I think that's an issue with the Hawks. That's
No
an issue with the
consistency.
Hawks.
Can
And
we
it's a
say that
concern that
so
we
far
have.
this season, the most consistent player is John? Can you say that?
No. No, because John has had some nights where John has only scored 9-7 points. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's like, I mean, I think if you say as far as effort, I think, yeah, John's giving
He gets the most
consistent
effort.
effort.
Yeah, that's
But
real.
nah,
That's real.
he's had some nights where it's been like, bruh, like John been off too. He not exempt
Yeah.
from it. He a
Matter of
nice
fact, I think
dude.
he
Shout out
did
to
not have a
John.
good
Like,
game against the Sixers.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like he just disappears sometimes. So he's still. That was like kind of the problem that people had with him.
See, I'm tripping.
I remember he had a big game or whatever, and people were saying John Collins can't create for himself. John Collins can't do this.
All-star.
I think it was the Knicks game. Was the next game, and he didn't do anything. Like he had like
Yeah.
9 points that game. I
Oh,
could
that's
look it
probably the
up.
game I'm thinking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it was probably that one.
because I went off that night in the group chat.
Because
Because
he
the
had
dude,
14 against the Pacers.
yeah.
He had 18 against the Sixers. So it had to be that game.
Yeah, he had 12 and 9 against the Knicks.
12-9. Yeah.
12 and 9, which isn't bad, but it's like the Hawks were losing that game, and it was against like Obi Toppin and the rookie they have, the big kid with the big shoulders, the rookie. I don't know his name.
Obi.
No. Yeah. What's his
He a
name?
center?
Yeah, a big dude. Jericho Sims.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Jericho
Gosh,
Sims
I
kid.
didn't even watch that game. I didn't even
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
the next game.
Yeah, the Jericho Sims kid from Texas. He, it's like you going against rookies and young kids, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. And he didn't take advantage of it when the Hawks couldn't get anything going. Like that was something that they needed at that point. But yeah, no, I can't even say like John's exempt from it.
Shoot, Kevin's the same way too, though.
Anymore. Who, Kev?
Kevin does the same thing.
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
has like a good game, and then the next game he has like 6 points, and I'm like, dang, bro, like.
Yeah, well, I think Trae's probably the only one.
Trae, yeah.
Trae's the only one where you're at least going to get 10 assists from him or
Yeah,
9
true.
assists. Even if Trae's struggling from the field, he could still figure a way to score 15 points.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know, man. It's just a difficult thing. It's just been a mess. It's like everything that people kind of worried about headed into the season, they're proving it to be right.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I worried about was, like who are like how do you develop a rotation when you have so many talented players, and then also the health of Cam and Dre. Like it's like no one can stop the Hawks, especially if Dre and Cam are healthy, but they haven't been healthy.
Right.
I was telling someone that in the preseason, they were like, "What? Every NBA team experiences injuries," and I'm like, "No, but like Cam and Dre are always hurt. Like
Yeah, right, exactly.
like one of them are always hurt, so it's like a kind of almost a guaranteed thing, knock on wood, that one of them are going to experience injuries this season." They're like, all right, well, what are the weaknesses? And I was like, I just told you. But anyways, so that was that. That's what I had on that. It's just, everything we thought would be wrong with the Hawks has proven to be wrong this evening. And this isn't just me just piling on because they're losing recently. It just is what it is.
Yeah, they just it's really just consistency. I mean, consistency, injuries, like, and it's crazy because I kind of felt like at a point, I mean, during the winning streak, they had kind of got like a rotation going and everything was set, but it was kind of like, okay, dang, like you still got to think about, dang, Dre, we still missing Dre. Like Dre's supposed to be our starter. Like, what we gonna do when he get back? We gonna put him back in the starting lineup and mess the rotations up, or we gonna have him come off the bench? Oh, dang, we got Okongwu coming back too. Like, what we gonna do with him too? Like, he was a major part of the playoffs last year. Like, it's
Like
so many
Zhang not
questions
even in the
that
rotation anymore.
Zhang not even in the rotation. I just realized
so
that.
how's Onyeka gonna get in?
Yeah, like what's going on? So it's boy, yeah, man. Like it's cool to have all this debt and all this, but once they get fully healthy, we don't really see like what's up.
I think Lou, this is definitely it for Lou, man.
Yeah.
Even if you see him score a couple in a row, like even Kobe his last year, rest in peace, Kobe. Like when he was missing everything and he was really bad that last year, like he get a couple of little runs where he make a couple shots in a row and everybody go crazy, and then he go back to missing for the rest of the night.
He a basketball player. He's
Yeah,
gonna hit a shot.
right. Exactly. Yeah. Like Lou's gonna get you a couple still, because he's made some like big buckets for them or whatever. Like just like in the backup minutes, I think it was the Indiana game where he made the buzzer beater at one of the end of the quarters. Just those things are like momentum, like really boosters for your team and stuff like that. But overall, man, it's like you look at what he does and it's like Sharif can do that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know. I might just be talking from a fanboy perspective. But,
I mean, I don't
ahead,
think Sharif can get off like I don't think he can get off like Lou, like
no,
because I still have problems. I mean he's shooting the ball pretty good on in college part, but I knew coming to the draft the shot was something that was his weakness. So it's like I don't really know how to like I don't know if he really improved or it's kind of just like a outlier. So, but I mean, after Lou going, like somebody gonna have to step in. It's not gonna be DeLon if you keep him because DeLon can't get off. He's definitely not get off like Lou.
I mean, but you're talking about what Lou can do, but it's like what have we seen from Lou?
Yeah, right.
It's like at some point you got to be like, all right, bro, we know what you can do. You showed us this your 19th season. You show them what you can do for 18 seasons. However, right now,
we need more.
that's what I'm saying. Like we're gonna try out the kid. And I think Lou is okay with that. The Taylor Rooks interview, he sounded like he was okay with whatever this season.
Yeah.
Because this was probably it for him if the
That's
Hawks
it,
weren't going to bring him back. So, I mean, I don't know. I think you give the kid his minutes.
But Nate don't like playing rookie, so that's where we're stuck.
You got to figure out the rotation, and you got to figure out the playbook. You got to figure out late game execution. The Hawks just have those 3 issues.
Yeah.
They figure those out, we'll see what they do for the rest of the season. But it just is what it is right now. There's just a lot of frustration and, kind of underperforming with the type of talent you have on the team. I want to ask you about Ben Simmons. Speaking of other Eastern Conference teams, do you see Ben Simmons getting moved? And if he does, how does that affect the East?
Well, I forgot Ben Simmons even existed for a minute.
That's what I'm saying. If you think about Kyrie Irving,
I don't know if he's coming back.
Brooklyn's very beatable. And why is so? Because Kyrie Irving isn't there.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I honestly don't know if they're going to trade him or not. It's still kind of tough. Like, because, maybe 2 weeks ago, something came out about him. And then we haven't heard anything else about him. That's why I forgot about, bro. Like, he hasn't been in the news recently. But, I mean, we know what he can do, like, defensively. I mean, he's a great initiator. Like, I know it's some teams, like, that need, like, a ball handler. And they don't need somebody to score all the time. Like, it's a team out there, like, shoot, the Celtics. The Celtics got all these scores, but don't nobody want to pass the ball. You get somebody like Ben Simmons on the team and set him up, like, and he plays defense, like, that would be pretty solid. I mean, you probably have to give up somebody, like, hopefully not Jalen or somebody, but, like, you're going to have to give up something, like, so I don't know. It's kind of like it's in a tough spot, honestly. But I like what the Sixers are doing without him, honestly. But with Tyrese, like, Maxey been stepping up, so.
But I mean, like, Philly's not like Philly, the outright number 1 team. Like the East it's all pretty achievable. Anyone can beat anyone. So
take one run. Like,
if they get somebody good of value in the return of the Ben Simmons thing, I think that changes the entire dynamic of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think because I think they're already good without him. So if you really, like, get something that's, I don't know what they would possibly need, like maybe like another wing play or something. Yeah, like Dame.
Dame rapped about all that loyalty just to get traded.
Yeah, if you get Dame, it's raps.
Oh yeah,
you get Dame, it's raps. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really a tough situation. Like, even the Kyrie thing, like, don't know if you're gonna get that. Just get vaccinated, bro. Just get vaccinated, bro. Like, this man on Instagram posting pictures with the chains around.
The
head. Like, bro, just go, bro. Just go to your local Walgreens, CVS. Just get it over with, bro.
Go to the Minute Clinic.
Like, bro, this is not political, bro. Like, this is really just for safety, bro. Just go get it, bro. Please. We got another variant out now. We don't know what that's about. Bro.
Marion.
Please.
Go ahead and get it, bro.
Please, bro.
But, man, that's all I have for this week. Malik, you have anything?
Nah, that's pretty it. I think we pretty much touched on everything, really.
All right, cool. All right, well, you guys, as always, man, RashadMilton.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Renee Montgomery. Happy belated. And please _do something _with _Kennedy Carter.
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at _Malik ATL.
And subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited.
Subscribe.
And download PrizePicks.
Please.
PrizePicks. It's in the game.
It's in the game.
And if they come out clean.